Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about flawless manifesting without the crash and burn. Flawless manifesting. So, this is a great live to listen in on if you've ever had the experience of maybe you started manifesting good stuff, things were really working out for you, and then somehow you lost momentum and things took a turn for the worse and you found yourself unable to get back into that flow of manifesting. We're going to talk about how do you avoid that crash and burn? How do you allow yourself to manifest and keep manifesting without those down cycles? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, as you're coming in, please let me know if you can hear me and let me know that you're here. Like the video. If you've got questions about manifesting, go ahead and drop them in the chat because, as always, I'll be periodically stopping and answering some of those as I go along. Cowlitz Bill, thanks for letting me know that the sound's good on YouTube. I appreciate you. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear. But yes, today we're talking about flawless manifesting without the crash and burn, because the crash and burn is something lots of people experience. I used to deal with it quite extensively until I learned about the stuff that we're going to talk about today. And so I want to pass this information on to you so that those crash cycles, you can eliminate those. Okay? And you can just keep attracting the things that you want without going through those downturns. Ooh, what's going on with the hair today? That's interesting. All right. Hello, everybody. I see lots of you guys are already here. Mickey D, I see you've got a super chat here. Thank you for the super. I'll get to that question in just a minute. Hello, Happy Daisy, Rainbow Traveling Yogi, Opulent Beauty 888, Pedro, Cowlitz Bill, Picket Music, Keisha Kelvin. My lovely assistant Mary is here. Hello, everyone. Hello on Instagram. I see Stassi Cheryl, R. Mary Patrick. Thanks for letting me know that you guys can hear. I appreciate you. Hi, Rishi Kasharma 115. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, Bing on Facebook. How are you? Trying to say hi to everybody. Got a lot of different platforms going at once. All right, but again, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. So if you want to be a manifester and able to stay in that zone where things are working for you without the crash and burn, it's really important that you understand the cyclical nature of manifestation. Cyclical. And why you have to understand the cycles in order to do really well and to stay in that manifesting zone. Okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is that manifesting does happen in a cycle. Okay? It happens in a cycle. The cycle is pretty basic. It's pretty easy to understand. And what we're looking at with the cycle is we begin, when we want to manifest something, we begin in a place of lack, okay? Meaning we're in an environment in our reality and we notice that something is missing that we want. That is the beginning of the cycle, okay? The second part of the cycle is that we have a desire to fulfill that lack, okay? And so we put out our intention to get the thing that we want. The third part of the cycle is that we align with the desire, meaning we step into the place of knowing that we can and do already have it. Okay. Now, when we get into alignment, then we receive the thing that we want and we go into a period of adjustment. Okay. So let's say that you manifested a home. There's that period of adjustment where you move into the home, you're getting used to the home, and you're not yet noticing anything really wrong with it. You're just kind of adjusting to it being there, okay? The next part is after adjustment, you start to notice lack again, and then the cycle repeats, okay? So the cycles are the most critical thing to understand to avoid crash and burn, but first, we have to understand the cycles. Again, we are somewhere in reality, we notice lack. From that place of lack, we put out a desire, something that we want. Then we come into alignment with our desire, meaning we come to understand that we can and do already have it. We receive the thing that we want, we adjust to the thing that we want, and then from a new vantage point, we notice lack again. Well, now I want to fix the shutters. Now I want to improve the yard. Now I want to meet a neighbor. We start to notice the lack again. That is the cycle, okay? And it's very important to understand the cycle, because if you don't understand the cycle, some of these steps on the cycle can make you feel like you're doing something wrong or that things aren't working out for you. And if you have that momentary lapse where you start to feel like things are going wrong, things aren't working out for you, then instead of staying positive on this cycle of manifestation, you get kicked out somewhere and you go into a downward spiral. Okay, and that's what we don't want to see happen. So I'm going to explain why this happens in detail as we go through this live, but that's the most important thing for us to start with, is understanding this is a cyclical thing. Okay, now the reason why this occurs at all, okay, is that you and I, we are all that is. So you are infinite, you are everything, and everything is you. You are the infinite having a limited experience here on the 3D plane. You are the infinite having a limited experience where you're in this reality with lack. And that's a really good thing, because wouldn't you get bored just being infinite all the time? Okay. It's fun to kind of dive in and have the journey of discovering just everything that you are. But because you are infinite in the 3D reality, because you are infinite in a limited perspective, whenever you notice lack, the inner knowing of you that you are infinite wants to go out and fill that lack, because you know that you are more than this limited perspective. You know that you can have more, that you can be more, that you can do more. That's why that desire is there. Okay? So that's why this happens. We have manifested ourselves into a limited reality where we can have the journey of experiencing a limited experience. But whenever we start to notice lack, we want to step back into that awareness and fill that lack. Okay, and that's kind of what's going on as time progresses. All right, so that's the basic structure that we need to understand before we talk about how do we avoid those downward cycles. All right, I want to answer this super chat real quick while we're going. Mickey D writes in, thank you, Mickey D. Can you explain the science behind how something like writing a book is instant? Thanks. Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so we talk about, sometimes manifesting can happen instantly, okay? Everything can occur instantly, all right? But when we look at a process like that, sometimes that's confusing. So, Andrea, when I want to write a book, I have to sit down and I have to write the book or type the book, or my understanding of this process is that it takes time, okay? The reality of the situation is, again, that we are infinite, okay? Meaning we contain everything right here and right now. We may in the moment be experiencing limitation, but in reality, we are infinite, meaning everything exists now, including any possible book that you may want to write. It exists now, okay? So writing a book, although it sounds like I'm physically doing something to bring this about, that's not really what's going on. The book actually already exists. It already exists. And if we wanted to write a book instantly, we would have to find a way to align with a belief that that could happen instantly. So just off the top, what comes to me when I hear this is like, well, there's always a way that something can be done. Hey, if you wanted to write a book instantly, you could just ask AI to write you a book instantly. And it could write you a book instantly. All right. As I'm doing this, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm not sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say next to you. The thought is just coming instantly because the thoughts already exist instantaneously. Okay, so when we talk about the science, we're really talking there about really quantum physics and the idea that everything kind of exists in superposition and you simply have to lock into it happening right now. Hope that makes sense. That was a thinker for the first one. Good question. All right. And yeah, on the subject of manifesting things instantly, if you are on YouTube, you probably saw that I did drop into the chat and that there is a link for a sale that will be going on early in February on my biggest program, which is my Fast Manifestation program. So if you are interested in that program and learning how to become an expert manifester who can put things out quickly and get them back quickly, that is a really great program. It is my biggest program. It has 9 hours of content, and it also comes with personal coaching from yours truly. So this program will only be on sale once this year, and it's an enormous sale that is 50% off. If you are interested in getting notifications when that sale goes live, along with the 50% off discount code, make sure to go ahead and sign up for the email reminders. You can find that link in YouTube. I'm sure my lovely assistant Mary is also putting it into Facebook. If you are on Instagram, you can find the link in my bio. Okay, but that's my Manifesting Fastlane program. Really good. It's not a good program, guys, if you're new to the law of attraction. If this is like new information for you, going over your head, please do not bother with that program because I don't baby step through that program. That program is really more advanced concepts and technique. Okay, let's keep going. Again, today we're talking about flawless manifesting without the crash and burn. And the first thing that we have to understand is that we don't want to crash. We have to understand the cycles. Okay, this is what's important. This was what gets in the way with people when it comes to maintaining their ability to stay in a high vibration and manifest the things that they want. A lot of times when people learn about the law of attraction, they get really excited and optimistic, and they are able to manifest a lot of stuff very quickly. But something will happen, and they will become unoptimistic and start to not expect positive things and start to not believe that things are going their way. And they can go from really manifesting a lot of great stuff to tail spinning and really manifesting a lot of garbage. And I see lots of people go through this experience where they get themselves up and then they get kicked out, and then they get themselves up and then they get kicked out. And this is not something that you have to experience. It's not. But in order to maintain that state of things working out for me, we have to understand the mechanism of what creates things for me to spiral out of control. The thing to really understand is there's a cycle to the process. And at certain places in the cycle, people are more likely to get pessimistic. So we have to identify where in the cycle are people becoming pessimistic, and how do you work with that energy to make it work for you? Okay, so let's keep up with it. Here's the thing. When we look at the cycle, so again, the cycle is there's a place of lack. I have a desire. I align with my desire. I adjust to my desire. Now I see new lack. That is the cycle. Okay. Generally speaking, when people are aligning with their desire, so when your desire is showing up, you guys get really happy. You get really excited. Okay, that's what happens. So if you have a little bit of success, like you manifest a boyfriend, or you manifest some money, or you manifest a good hair day, whatever it is, you have some success, you become optimistic. That keeps your vibration high, and you may get into that place where you start manifesting very well. Okay, but when you come back around to the place of lack again, where maybe you manifested the boyfriend and you've adjusted to the boyfriend, but now you're starting to notice what's not there in him. Maybe he doesn't call enough. Maybe he doesn't take you out to dinner. Maybe he forgot your birthday. Okay. Something that's lacking. When you start to notice the lack, instead of honoring that place in the cycle, what the ordinary person will do, even the ordinary person who understands the law of attraction will do, is they will say, something's wrong. I did something wrong. I'm noticing lack, therefore I'm not manifesting. I'm doing something wrong. Notice that this is an issue because lack is part of the cycle. Lack is part of the cycle. You cannot get rid of it. Noticing lack is part of the cycle. So if every single time you manifest something new and you adjust into a new reality, and then you notice lack again and you say, this is wrong, this is bad, I don't like this, now you start to go into a tailspin where instead of validating lack as part of the process, you're saying that lack is an indication that there's a problem in my reality. And because the law of attraction always reflects back what you're putting out, when you say that lack is a problem, it creates problems in your life rather than solutions. But it doesn't have to be this way. If you understand what lack actually is, that it's a part of the cycle, and not only that, it is an invaluable part of the cycle, you can honor lack when you experience it. And then you can stay on the merry-go-round of having things work out for you. Okay, so this is kind of a complicated topic, so I want to give an example that's very mundane and basic. All right. One thing you guys may or may not know about me is I love pizza. Okay. Love pizza, and I can eat a lot of it. And for a very long time, I would eat a lot of it. And I still do like to eat it. I still do eat it regularly. But I don't really get so out of control with it anymore. But when you eat pizza, if you're hungry, that first piece of pizza tastes so good. It tastes so good. The second piece of pizza still tastes good, but not that great. It's just pizza. By the time you eat the third piece of pizza, it's not tasting so good, because you're not hungry anymore and it's kind of making you sick. Okay? The reason why I'm giving you guys this analogy is that I want you to understand that the reason the pizza tastes so good on the first piece is because you were hungry before you ate it. There was lack before you ate it. Lack is necessary, therefore, in order to feel joy. That's what we have to understand about the lack. When we don't have something and we get it, that is exciting. That is fun. That is what elevates our vibration. Without the lack, you can't experience the joy of receiving. So whenever you find yourself in a place, like again, let's say that you have manifested yourself into a particular reality and you're starting to notice lack, it doesn't mean that something's wrong. It means there's potential for joy over there. There's potential for joy over there. There's potential for excitement over there. Why? Because there's a lack that I'm going to bounce up from. There's a lack I'm going to fill. There's a ride I'm going to take. If all of your needs were met simultaneously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you would not have the ability to experience the joy, because it would be like eating 75 pieces of pizza, one after another. You understand? Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is that the lack piece is the piece that you really want to narrow in on to avoid the crash and burn. When you find yourself in a place where maybe you've been manifesting for a while and you know you're starting to notice lack, you want to get excited for the lack. You want to validate the lack. Because when you validate the lack, you don't say this thing is not here, this is bad, therefore my life is going to suck, therefore my reality is going to suck, therefore I'm going to create bad things. No. Instead you say, oh, there's lack over there. There's another ride I'm going to take. This one's going to be fun. And then instead of going down, you start to manifest back up. And you fill those lacks quicker. I hope that makes sense. Okay, that's one of the big things we need to understand when it comes to avoiding the crash and burn. All right, if you guys got questions, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat. Try to answer some of these. I've been going for a minute. Kinza Lodi says, you mean desire and detach and continue your things. Don't dwell in your desire. Yes, desire, detach. Don't dwell in the lack in a negative way. When something isn't coming, that means there's more potential for joy. If something's taking a long time, this is the other piece too. So let's say that there's something that you want and you're in that place of, I've desired it, but it hasn't come yet. If it's taking a while and it hasn't come yet, people start to dial more into the lack and they get upset. But understand, the longer it takes to come, the better the joy is going to be. Just like maybe I'm kind of hungry and I ate the pizza and it was pretty good. But if I'm really hungry, that piece of pizza is going to taste great. Same thing is true for your manifestations. So if something's taking a long time, good. That means I'm going to be even more elated and have even more joy when it arrives. Do you see how that validates the lack? So instead of dwelling on it and seeing it as a problem, we're validating it and saying, this time delay that I've created is a good thing. This is helping me out. Now you're not focused on, I'm creating negatively in my reality and I'm focused on the lack. Instead, now I am focused on the joy. This is going to be even more joyous. You see? So avoiding the burnout and the crash and burn is really about narrowing in on that part of the cycle that's the lack and reframing it to understand that it's inherent to you experiencing the joy of the manifestation. Thank goodness that we have it, because if we didn't, it'd be like eating the same piece of pizza over and over and over and over and over again. It would not be fun. It would not be exciting. We would not enjoy it. Make sense? Arthur's first time catching me live. Nice to see you, Arthur. I've been focusing on getting rich for the past 20 years, but have gotten nowhere. I guess if I start to let go, all the wealth will start to come. Well, yeah, I mean, if it's something that I've been focusing on for 20 years, what that means is for 20 years, I've been focused on it not being here. Okay. So, what we want to be focusing on instead is a couple things. I'm wealthy now, and how am I wealthy now? Okay. So, stop looking at what we don't have and we start looking at what we do have. What do I have? What wealth do I have in my life? What money do I have? That's important, because when you focus on having, you have more. But also getting away from the idea that if I focus on making this happen, this is going to work for me. That's not the way it works. Okay. A lot of people think that they need to focus on the thing that they want repeatedly over and over and over again. And for good reason, because there's lots of people out there telling you guys to do this. To journal every day, to focus every day, to look at your vision board every day, okay? But remember, you are the infinite having a human experience, meaning everything already exists for you now. If it already exists for you now, why would you have to focus on it repeatedly? If you really believe that it exists now, would you be spending that much time on it? Absolutely not. If you actually understood and believed that this was here for you now, you would have no reason to sit there and harp on it or worry about it. You'd be able to just toss it off and keep it moving because you already knew it was yours. So the example I like to give for this kind of question, this is a great question, is like my marriage, okay? A lot of people want to get a husband or get a wife, okay? Once you have one, you're not worried, depending on the quality of the relationship, okay? If you've got a good relationship with your spouse, once you have the good relationship with your spouse that you want, you're not worried about where is he. I don't know where my husband is right now. I don't care. He's somewhere. I know he's coming back because I've got him. That's the thing, is if you know that you have something, you're not going to sit there and obsess about it because you know it's coming. Okay, so this is the thing to understand about the dreams, is that it's a lot more of just firing them off and staying in alignment, firing them off and staying in alignment. That's the mojo you want to be in. Okay, when we really, I'm going to think about it, focus on it, try about it. That's basically saying, I don't believe that this is going to come true. That's why I'm focusing so hard. Okay, hope that's helpful. And by the way, If you've been holding on for 20 years and you let go, what's the joy quotient on that? If waiting increases the joy of things coming, how much joy is coming your way when this happens? That's the way we got to look at it. Picket Music asks, hi, Andrea, and thanks again for these live events. I was raised to work really, really hard. Even though I don't consciously believe that now, part of my brain has a hard time dialing in on ease. Any advice? Ooh, I mean, I get this one because I was raised the same way. I'm sure a lot of you guys were raised the same way. Some of you more than others. Okay. But I was raised by very strict parents and had very high expectations placed on me. And so I feel this question because this right here, this right here gets in the way for a lot of people. I need to try. And it actually kind of dials back into that last question of focusing in for 20 years to get something. When you believe that you have to work hard, you're more inclined to hold on to resistance because you've been trained in your mind to believe that somehow I've got to focus on this, I've got to try, I've got to work, rather than I am inherently everything and I can just receive. Okay, when you believe that you have to work for things to come, it can be very challenging to just know things are going to show up because those two ideas are diametrically opposed. So it's really important to get yourself to a place of dialing in on ease. What has worked best for me is just noticing and acknowledging when I'm one way or the other and how things are working out. Because if you simply notice it and acknowledge the evidence that's there, it will convince you that you can relax. So you need to take inventory. All right. So what I mean by this is, like, if I ever find myself working real hard and trying real hard, I'll notice how reality turns out. So those times that I'm really trying and working real hard, those are the days things aren't going very well for me. Those are the days I don't make as much money. Those are the days I have more problems. Those are the days I have more issues with family or with friends or with health, are those days that I'm trying. By contrast, those days that I'm really taking it easy, and I don't just mean laying around, I mean up here, taking it easy. Up here, the brain is clear. Up here, there's not a care in the world. Up here, I'm relaxed. When that's going on, that's when things line up. That's when money comes in. That's when I get great ideas. That's when a friend calls and wants to do something fabulous. That's when that happens, when I'm in that state of clarity. So what you want to do is really notice that. Notice that. You know, especially when you notice good things coming or bad things, you can use it at any time. When you notice something positive coming or something negative coming, go back and ask yourself, where was my mental state? Was I in try-hard state or was I in relaxed state? Because what will happen is you'll start to know that it doesn't matter. Every single time when you were relaxed up here, things worked out. And when you were stressed up here, things didn't. And I'm pointing to my head because this is something I get a lot. Andrea, I'll go and lay on the couch and it still doesn't work out. Andrea, I took time off from work and it still didn't work out. Well, you can put your body at rest and that's helpful, but was this at rest? Okay, that's what you want to focus on now, what you want to focus in on. When you really start to make that correlation, that relaxation yields results, you won't want to do it any other way. You just won't. Okay? But we have to notice it. Notice the evidence in your own life. All right, let's get back to the topic here. Again, the topic for today is flawless manifesting without the crash and burn. And so here's another thing I want to point out, because when it comes to crash and burn, a lot of you guys go through this, and I know because I get lots of questions on this. Andrea, I was doing good, and then I lost my mojo, and now I'm not manifesting well, or I lost my magic, I lost my sparkle, what happened, how do I get it back, okay? Again, we have to understand where we're at on the wheel, okay? Very frequently, more often than not, what it means is I'm on the cycle of lack right now, and instead of validating my lack as a joyous part of the process that's necessary, that's leading me to joy, I'm saying lack means something's wrong. Lack means my reality is screwed. Okay? When I say that in my lack moments, I start to create more things that indicate my reality is screwed. Then, now I'm noticing more things that aren't working out. So I'm focused on more and more lack, more and more problems, and my reality goes into the gutter and my life turns into a dumpster fire. That's what happens. Okay. Very common. How we avoid that, again, more often than not, is when lack happens, you validate lack. Oh, good. Another adventure. Something else I'm going to line up with. Another piece of pizza when I'm hungry is coming. Okay. Got to understand that the lack is actually imperative for you enjoying anything at all. When you notice that and appreciate the lack in your environment, instead of going on a tailspin, you say, oh, there's some lack, there's something good coming, great. And then you know what? It shows up quicker. And then you stay on the happy wheel rather than spiraling down into the dumpster fire. Okay, that's the most critical piece to understand. But here's another one. Okay. Just as people focus on lack being a negative, people over focus on alignment being a positive. Okay. What I mean by this is that when you get the thing that you want, you get excited. Okay. Which is good. I'm excited. I got the boyfriend. I got the job. I got the house. I'm happy. Okay. But we start to over-identify that alignment is what makes me happy. Alignment is what makes me happy. Okay. So lack doesn't make me happy, and alignment's what makes me happy. And this causes people to do something very interesting, and I've done it myself, but it causes problems, okay? When you start to associate that alignment is what makes you happy, very frequently what will happen is you'll try to go back to the well. You'll try to go back to the well, meaning you'll try to extract more joy out of something you already manifested. Okay. So again, it's kind of like the pizza analogy. I had that one piece of pizza was so good. It was so good. I should just go back and get another one because aligning with that pizza was so good. So let me go back and get another piece. But then it's still good, but it's not quite as good. But let me go back and get another piece. And now it's not that good at all. People do this all the time with all kinds of stuff. Okay, they do it with drugs, they do it with sex, they do it with money, they do it with friendships. I had so much fun with my friends this weekend. We should hang out again on Monday and on Tuesday and on Wednesday and on Thursday. I had so much fun making this money. I should focus more on making money, focus more on making money. Okay, because I want to just stay in alignment with that thing. But again, when we do that, we're forgetting there's a cycle. Okay, so again, you start with lack. You have a desire, you align with your desire, you adjust to your desire, you come up with some new lack, and the cycle starts over again. When I try just to stay aligning with the same thing I already manifested, I prevent myself from moving back into lack, probably because I'm afraid to. Okay. And I try to go back to the well rather than looking forward to the next thing that it's time to manifest. You will see this over and over again, where you take the ride and then be willing to go back to lack. That's where you're going to avoid the downward spiral. Okay, so once you adjust to something, you will notice new lack. Don't try to go back to the well and remanifest what you already manifested. It's not going to make you feel any better. What will make you feel better is noticing, oh, okay, now I want this, and tossing out a new desire. I hope that makes sense. A lot of times people get stuck in this where they're trying to remanifest something that they've already manifested. It's like trying to harvest the same crops after you already harvested them. Okay? That's not the way that it works. That's why it's a fruitless endeavor. And when you start doing that, you get less and less joy. You become more and more bored with your reality. And that's not good for your vibration. Okay? So it's really great to toss things out, align with them. When they come in and you're adjusting and you notice new lack, toss something else out there and keep moving forward. Don't try to go backward and eat more of the same pizza. I hope that makes sense. If you guys need clarity on that one, let me know. And if you guys haven't yet, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and on Instagram if you haven't already yet. Also, if you are new to my work, I do have a test that you can take. It's very quick. It's 5 minutes and it's free. It is a manifesting test where you can put something out and watch it come back so that you can know for sure that you are the creator of your reality. All right. And so you can find that test at manifestingtest.com. Again, that's manifestingtest.com. My lovely assistant, Mary, I'm sure will drop those into the YouTube and Facebook chats. If you are on Instagram, you can find the link in my bio to that as well. But again, that test is called manifestingtest.com. Okay. That's some business. Let's see if we got some more questions here. Oh, we got some supers. I'm not even seeing things as they come in. Okay. Thank you, Peace, for the super. Peace says, Dear Andrea, I work as a certified business and psychological coach. My clients have very limiting thoughts. And after an intense session, I often notice that I suddenly radiate these limitations myself, and the fears of my clients start to manifest in my own life. Do you have any advice? Thanks a lot. You are the best. Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. So again, so you get what you focus on. That's the big thing. So a lot of times people that are coaches or who work one-on-one with people, this can happen because if you're sitting in a session and you're focusing on a person's problems, now all of a sudden there becomes a focus on that, and that drums that up in your reality to the point where you may start to take on those particular characteristics. It's very common, happens to a lot of people who are in coaching, and can be a reason why a lot of people struggle with coaching or have burnout. All right. So what you want to be doing is that you want to be focusing on the positive end of that. Okay. So why are their limiting thoughts benefiting them? What's in store for them? How are things working out for them? How is where they are setting them up for good things? So this kind of ties back into what we've been talking about with lack. Okay. So I'm noticing lack in the clients. And the lack is a bad thing. The lack is a bad thing. They're experiencing bad things from the lack. Now I'm going to experience bad things from the lack. Instead, what we want to be doing with our clients is we want to be focusing on how is the lack benefiting them. You see? So now if I happen to think of a thought like, oh, so-and-so had this limitation, instead of me going negative with it, I'm thinking, oh, they're about to have a big bounce. They're about to align with something better. They're about to have a movement upwards because I understand that lack is part of the journey. I understand that lack means something good is coming. Okay? So we want to validate the lack of the client so that we don't perceive it in a negative way. Okay? The other thing is too, is don't take on too many clients. If this is going on, if you need to take breaks, okay, always get centered before you go in to speak with somebody. Take the time that you need to get in a positive place before you talk to anybody. That's important too. Cowlitz Bill, celebrating 2 weeks of no anxiety and depression. Congratulations. And thank you for the super sticker. I'm happy for you. Good for you. Keep up the great work. Keisha Kelvin, thank you for the super. Asks, how can I align my energy to effortlessly... That wasn't effortless. Okay. How can I align my energy to effortlessly manifest a thrilling honeymoon with my sugar husband, riding roller coasters worldwide by, was that March? Is it March 27th, 2025 or March 25th? I don't know how this one, everyone in the world does it differently. Effortless manifest a thrilling honeymoon with my sugar husband riding. Well, I don't know where you're at in the cycle of things right now with this particular desire. But, hey, if you're looking to have a thrilling life, that's what it sounds like. The basis of this is I want to have an exciting life with someone that I love. We need to be focused on that. One thing I like to focus on with my loved one, we ride a lot of roller coasters in my house, so maybe this is a good example. I'm always telling, like, whenever we have to leave a theme park or finish a vacation, the mantra I always say to my kids, there's always another adventure. There's always another adventure. I would be saying that a lot if I were you. If you're trying to get some excitement and thrill into your life, look at your life as an adventure. And whenever you have fun and something goes well and it's over, instead of mourning it being over, okay, there's always another adventure. I'm looking forward to the next one. Notice how that mantra also speaks to the concept of lack in the lack cycle. Instead of I don't have thrill and adventure right now, the next one's coming. The next one's coming. Okay. But you sound like you're a lot of fun. Okay, I want to get another point in here real quick, then I'll come back and answer some questions. Okay, so again, our topic here is flawless manifesting without the crash and burn. And we're talking about honoring cycles. You've got to honor the cycle of manifestation in order to stay on the wheel, stay on the happy wheel, okay, and keep things going. You got to be validating that lack to get pushed back up. You got to keep doing that. The minute you say lack is bad, you go down and start a negative cycle. That's what happens, okay? Now, here's the thing though. There are many different cycles of manifestation that are going on at any one given point in time. So you guys have desires for relationships, you have desires for your health, you have desires for your abundance, you have desires for your children, for your careers, for how you look, like all kinds of desires and things that you want. You're going to be in different places with different cycles. Okay, so instead of looking at just one, I want you to imagine that there's lots of these that are going on at one time. I wish I had a video of this, but have you ever seen like a video of maybe a vaudeville performer and they're spinning plates on sticks? So there's lots of different plates that are spinning all at once. And all he has to do is just spin, them once in a while to keep them active. That's kind of what's going on. So we got health, we've got family, we've got beauty, we've got career, we've got friends, there's all these different plates that are going, and they're all somewhere in the cycle. And all I really have to do is spin each of them periodically to keep them moving. That's it. Okay. So this is something I want to point out because this is another thing that causes people to downward spiral. Instead of realizing that they have lots of different plates in their life that are spinning, that are in different places in their cycle, they'll get fixated on one that's in lack. Okay. So maybe the relationship plate is in lack and I'm focusing on this one's not working, this one's not working. Not only will that plate start to cycle downward, but now I'm not focusing on appreciation or focusing on desire for the other plates that are there. I'm not spinning those as well. So this can cause one area of your life to downturn and spiral into all these other plates starting to crash down. This is why people say like when it rains, it pours. I got sick and then I lost my job and then my cat died. I broke my leg. That's what happens. So want to understand, this is actually a really good thing that you have lots of different plates that are spinning, that are cycling in manifestation at all different points in time. Because should one of them happen to be in lack moment, and maybe it's kind of hard for you to think about the positivity of that lack, that's okay. You can come over to one of these other plates and focus in on where they're going. And well, maybe career's working out, or maybe there's something popping over here with my friendships. Maybe something's going well with my health. Stick your nose in the plate that's going to keep you as happy as possible, rather than dwelling on the one plate that's in that momentary cycle of lack. Lots of people do this. They get overly fixated on one thing that's manifesting, forgetting you are manifesting a complete and total reality right now. It's not just riches. It's not just health. It's not just, am I getting married? It's not just the baby. It's all of it. Okay. And when you appreciate that and understand that you're reaping and sowing in many different areas of your life, you can tell when, okay, I don't need to go back to the well with this one. It's time to go focus over here. And doing that will allow you to stay in a place where you're always manifesting good results in varied areas of your life. You're always staying in a pleasant reality because you're always feeling good about the things that you're accomplishing. And you're not overly focused in lack in one department of your life, allowing it to tumble the rest of your life into a dumpster fire. Okay? Very important thing to keep in mind. What's my favorite kind of pizza? Meatball and mushroom. Amanda asks, hey, Andrea, this question has been on my mind for a while. Do we as a collective manifest struggling financially in the United States? I see a lot of people doing this. Some people do and some people don't. Some people focus on the idea that there's so many people living in poverty, and some people see the United States as the land of opportunity. So, some people are not, and some people are. I think it's a mixed bag in this country. I honestly think this country is doing pretty well in that department comparatively, just because we do have lots of people that are crossing into the threshold of millionaires and billionaires at a pretty high rate. So that's not a statement I would say, because that's not one that I would want to identify with. But I do think there are clearly people that do focus on that. There is again, and it's the lack focus. A lot of times this happens because we perceive ourselves as being good people and we want to be there to help others. And so when we see people struggling financially, we want to go in and save them, or we want to notice that there are problems. And that keeps us focused in the idea that there is lack. It can be really hard to kind of look away from other people struggling, okay? But it has to be done. It has to be done, because when we look at them struggling, we reinforce the idea that they are struggling. So in our experience, they will continue to struggle because we're focusing on them as struggling. So we're not helping them. And now we're focusing on struggling. And just like we talked about a moment ago with the coaching question, if I start to focus on their lack, I'm going to lack too. So that's what I have to say about that one. Good question. Matt asks, hello, Andrea. Can we view the down cycle as a time to work on the contrast of our desires? Thank you and have a wonderful day. Yes. Yes, exactly. The down cycle, I love the way you put it. The way that I always think about it is like, I like the harvesting idea. So like the planting seeds idea. So during a down cycle, time to plant some new seeds. Time to plant some new seeds. That's basically what you're saying, is contrast in my desire. Noticing what's the new stuff that I want. Putting out some new intentions, taking some new actions, going in new directions. It's time for that because I already harvested the last crop. Okay. So yes, that's another way to validate the down cycle. Good idea. Courtney, thank you so much for your live sessions. My life has already improved tremendously. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate your positive feedback. Thank you so much. Piranha asks, hi, Andrea. I'm a new mom and I'm working. Any suggestions on how to work less, yet get a massive salary hike? Thank you for your response. Oh, for sure. Yeah. So instead of working more, focusing on optimizing your work, I think, has been the most helpful for me. And I would say that's probably why I started on this journey too, because I was a new mom. And I didn't want to work that much, but I wanted to make money. So I transferred into a different way of doing things. The big thing is work less. Okay. Work less. So you gotta train yourself to look at it as, it's not the amount of hours I put in, but it's how connected was I when I worked. Okay. So identifying, when am I most effective? When am I best at what I do? And then really narrowing in and only working during those times. And in times where you need rest, times where you want rest, having the discipline, and I use that word loosely, having the discipline to take a break. Okay. It runs counter to what most people are doing. Most people believe that if you just put in more hours, that's somehow virtuous. I'm working 60 hours a week. I'm working 80 hours a week. You don't ever want to be saying that. Because now you're just reinforcing the idea that you need to work more, work more, work more. Instead, narrow into the idea that when I'm connected, things get done quickly. When I'm connected, I have my best work, my best ideas, my best output. So there's really no sense in working at any other time. So if you have a job, maybe you have a job right now, play around with that idea within your job. Okay, so really go to work on the things that matter when you're connected. And if you're able to disconnect at times that you are not really feeling it, then do that. Take a break, go take a nap in your car, watch my videos on YouTube. Okay, it's really the being willing to walk away and validating that when I'm working, when I'm in alignment, that's when things work out. You guys may have noticed this too, that there are certain people that they don't work that many hours or they're not at the office that long, but they still get promoted. It's because they're tapping into this. Okay, they're only coming in and doing when it counts. And they're taking it easy when it doesn't. That's what we want to be doing. Banji asks, any tips of staying grounded when the 3D gets chaotic as I end up focusing on the 3D too much? Things go haywire. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when the 3D gets chaotic, okay, that means in that moment I've kind of spiraled downward. Okay. So I'm having that experience of conjuring the dumpster fire. That's what that means. And we don't need to be upset about that. That's just a dynamic that occurs. When I start to focus in an area of lack, I start to attract more lack. Then I start to attract more problems. Then there's chaos. Okay. So when you have those moments, again, being willing to stop and go back to the one job is important. Okay. We have to find a way to really come to the understanding and awareness, guys, that there is power and value and virtue in the stillness. Running around and putting out fires isn't doing anything. When we do that, we create more fires. When we do that, we create more chaos. When we do that, we create more problems. Just because we've been taught to do that doesn't mean it's a good idea. So when you're having the dumpster fire experience, the only thing you want to do is stop. I don't care if that means taking the day off from work. I don't care if that means hanging up on your mom. I don't care what it is. Stop. Get centered. Get relaxed. Get calm up here. That means I'm going to remove my focus from all the chaos. I'm going to turn off my device. I'm going to shut down my email. I'm going to turn off my phone. Whatever I have to do, because you have to understand when we attend to chaos, now we're focusing on chaos. We create what we focus on. So then we create more chaos. So in order to turn off that faucet, you got to turn off the mind. And that literally means stepping away, giving yourself permission to step away. Get back into your Zen place before you move forward. It may be helpful to write down a list of activities that you find to be soothing and helpful and relaxing that you enjoy, whether it's taking a nap or eating lunch or listening to a particular kind of podcast or watching cat videos. I don't care. I know Mary, my assistant Mary, that's her go-to, isn't it, Mary? She likes cat videos. Everyone's got something that calms them down, okay? Write a list of the things that calm you down. Maybe put it in your phone, and if you're having a moment, look through that list and say, okay, which of these sounds the most relaxing, and just do that until you're calm again. And what will happen is the noise will die down. But you got to be willing to do that. Good question. Got another super here from Keisha Calvin. I want to be a global Chanel ambassador. How can I prepare for them to reach out while staying open to something even better? Well, okay. So you have this desire, staying open to something even better. I don't know what you've done for this yet. Sometimes with something like this, if you haven't taken any action towards it, it may be fun just for kicks. Looking into what all does that take? What do I have to do? What do they expect? Blah, blah, blah. Put out a resume, whatever it is the to-do things, not because those are the things that need to be done, but because it gets you into the vibration of I'm doing this. We're going there. This is happening. Okay. But only doing those things when it's fun. and doing them and then moving to the next plate. Okay. So I'm just going to use this in terms of a job because I don't know what's involved in becoming a Chanel ambassador. If you find out, let me know. Okay. But let's say I want to get XYZ job. How do I prepare for them to reach out while staying open to something even better? Okay. If that was the question, I would probably say, okay, I'm going to go look online today and just see what they need for the job. Take a look at it. Maybe I'll call somebody. Maybe I'll do one step. I'll do that. And then I'm gonna be like, okay, we took some action. Great. And then I'll go spin another plate. Now I'm going to go focus on the kids, or I'm going to go focus on my hair. I'm going to go focus on some money. I'm going to go focus somewhere else on a different plate because I already put something out there. Okay. Then we can come back around and do that again. Okay. But the idea is we're gently kind of moving in that direction. This is happening and I'm doing this while I'm still looking at the other things that are coming. So I'm not getting too tied into the idea that this one has to work. The other thing is you can think about something even better. Okay. So what's something even better than Chanel ambassador? Go stick your nose in there a little bit. Okay. The big thing is don't just sit there, okay, and hope that it's going to show up, but not really believe it. Put something out there tangible and then go do something else, okay? So that you have some degree of faith that I'm moving in that direction, because the belief part is important. And the reason why I'm saying this is that there is this connection between action and thought that is confusing for most people when it comes to manifestation. It's like this belief, it's either action or it's thought. It either drops out of the sky or I have to work for it. That's not what's going on, okay? It's belief, it's expectation. And so the actions that I take, are they in alignment with my belief? If just sitting on my couch and hoping that Chanel calls me does not seem believable to me, then it's probably not going to happen because I'm just sitting there and I don't think it's going to happen. But if I start sticking my nose in it a little bit, I'm going to start to feel like I'm doing something. I'm going to start to feel like I'm getting closer to it. I'm going to start to feel like I'm focusing on it. Okay? But don't convince yourself that the action is what's doing it, because it's not. It's the belief. I hope that makes sense. Bella, hi Andrew, I'm happy to see you. My boyfriend dumped me today. Well, good, Bella. Better one's coming. Okay? You got a better one coming. See you later. Got a better one coming. Remember? Happy birthday. Oh, it's not happy birthday. Have a happy day. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you. Elise. Hi, Andrea. Do you have any tips on how to avoid feeling defeated when I planted various seeds for so long? Sometimes seeing them to break through the soil, but often don't see them live. Yeah. It's kind of a going back to the it's kind of a going back to the well thing I'm getting from that. We're getting too attached to this seed. Okay? When it starts breaking through the soil, I know what you mean. It starts coming. It's coming. Now I'm becoming so focused on this one plate, this one seed. Okay? That's the problem. When it's starting to break, oh, good. That one's coming in. Let's go focus on this one over here. Okay? That's a really important thing I just said there, guys, if you didn't hear it. When you start to see your manifestations showing up, it is the worst time for you to get like laser focused on, is it coming? Is it coming? It's going to work. And a lot of times we'll do that. And then what happens? That plant that was coming up goes back down. Right? So instead, when it's coming, okay, good, it's coming, I can go focus elsewhere. So I do this a lot when I sell things. I sell courses. I've mentioned this before. If you guys want to sell stuff online, listen up, okay? So I have sales, much like the sale that I've got coming up for my Manifesting Fastlane program. Link is in the chat, shameless plug, okay? So that sale will go live in a few weeks. And so when I have sales, there's a potential for a lot of people to sign up. Okay. What I don't do is the day of the sale, open my email. Did the sales come? Did they come? In fact, usually I'll just take the day off of work entirely and go do something else and go to the beach, go out with a friend, hang out with my kids. I go attend to another plate entirely. Now, when I do that, sales roll in, make a lot of money because I'm not sitting there. Is it growing? Is it growing? Is it growing? It's the worst time to do it. When it's starting to break through, let it grow on its own. Okay. Very, very helpful. And yes, again, that sale will be coming live soon. There is a link in the chat on YouTube, as well as I believe on Facebook. And then if you're on Instagram, you can find it in my bio. The sale's not yet. It will be in February, and it's a 50% off coupon code. Okay, so this is a big, big course. It has 9 hours of content. It does come with audio coaching, and it's designed to show you guys how to manifest quickly. It is not for beginners to the law of attraction. If you are a beginner and you're just now learning this stuff, this is not the course for you. I have other ones that are more appropriate. But if you've been following me for a little bit, you manifested a few things, you should be good to go. This one's really about dealing with the limiting block issue for bigger dreams. So a lot of times with the larger dreams, people do get frustrated. They have a hard time not focusing on lack and limitation. So this is going to help you resolve that. In addition, it's about helping you guys get over, if you're dealing with stressful situations and not being able to stay positive for dreams coming, this is very helpful for that as well. Again, it does come with coaching. And then also, one of the big things in this program is debunking the myth that some things just take time. This is one of the big things that gets in the way with manifestation. There's this chronic belief that some things just take time. There was a question early on about, well, how am I supposed to write a book instantly? Underneath that thought is, well, writing a book takes time. No, it doesn't. AI can do it like this. But until you understand that things can happen now, there is that tendency to believe that things take time, which can slow down the fast manifestation process. So if you're interested, go ahead and check out that link, and I'll send you the discount code when it becomes live. Okay. I got time for a couple more, I think. Lay1111 Lay on Instagram says, "Hi Andrea, how do I manifest to have financial freedom so I can only work on things I get excited about? I feel stuck working in corporate." Work with where you are and make it more exciting. That's a big thing. So before I did this, I was a teacher. And unlike the corporate world where I taught, there wasn't a lot of money to be made. And not only that, but I was working basically on my feet all day and like down to the minute. Okay. So there wasn't a lot of free time. So I had that experience of working long hours, no free time, and not making a lot of money. And what I did to transition from that to this, where I really work part-time and make a lot more money, doing a lot less and having fun, was first working with that teaching job. You have to find a way to make your current job fun. Stop worrying about working long hours. That's the big thing. And I mentioned that earlier. Don't worry about how much time am I putting in. Think about how much fun can I have when I'm here? How can I make this as fun as possible? How can I make this job as easy as possible? That's another one. How can I make my job easier? Okay. So maybe there's certain things that you've been doing that you don't have to do, or you could delegate to somebody else, or you could just phone in. Start doing that. Okay. Look for ways that you can enjoy and have excitement in your current environment. Maybe it's just joking around with your coworker, playing pranks on your boss, something that has nothing to do with work whatsoever. Doesn't matter. The point is we're trying to start to associate that work can be fun, easy, and profitable. That's what we're trying to get in the resonance of. So noticing that money's coming in, I'm working less and I'm having more fun is the direction you want to stick your nose in, so that reality starts to adjust to give you more time for yourself, less work, but more fun with work, and more money with less time. That's the dynamic that we're trying to play with. Great question. The skeptical spiritualist says, "Yesterday I found out my car battery died. Then I went to class and my mic was dead and the projector wouldn't start. I had a good laugh and the projector worked a minute or two later." Okay, so you did that right. Okay. And you guys see this, right? Something broke and then something else broke and then something else. we can get onto that train because we focused on the battery dying, right? So then the mic is dead and the projector. Now, what skeptical spiritualists did correctly was laughed about the situation. Look at me manifesting this, ha ha ha, rather than, oh, my life is so terrible, and then manifesting something else breaking. You did that right. When you guys, that's a great, what you just mentioned right there, that's a great thing for anyone who's having the dumpster fire to do. Well, look at what I've done. Look at this dumpster fire I've got going. Good, and start laughing about it. Things will start working out. Great story. Oh, you like the plate spinning? Okay, good. I was hoping that that image made sense. Jean Jung. Hi, Andrea. Do you recommend working with a debt management company or just manifesting money to pay off $14,000? Okay. What's the path of least resistance? What's easiest for you? What's the easiest route is the best. And it will vary from person to person. Ideally, we want to get you to the place where, you know, that's I've always got the money. Okay. If you're able to pay off in some increments on your own, me personally, that's what I would do. So if I didn't have maybe the 14,000 now, but there was an ability for me to put a chunk down here or there, me personally, knowing what I know, that's what I would do now. If that gives you a heart attack and it's easier to go over here, then go over there. Okay. So you have to work with where you're at. But ideally, while you're working this out, pick the easiest route. Okay. Just pick the easiest route. Whatever the easiest route is the correct route. Moving forward with money, pay cash and try to pay for things out of your own pocket as much as you can without using credit, without using help. And every time you buy something, I got money for this. Look at me. I got money. I always got enough money. I got money for this. I got money for this, so that you start to build an abundance of money. But if we're already in a pickle, take the path of least resistance. All right, guys, that's going to have to do it for today. I will be back on Sunday with another live. So if you've enjoyed this one, come on back. It'll be at the same time, which is 11:30 a.m. my time. That's Eastern, whatever time that correlates for you. Again, you can always sign up to get those notifications for the Fast Manifesting program when it goes live with that 50% off. Make sure to check that out. And again, make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, guys, but it's really been good seeing you. And of course, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.